All right, welcome to the back nine of the 2023 Rocklin Cool Down. This is the third annual event. The last year is a B tier. It will be an A tier next year.
That's us.
By myself, Andrew, and Alex Lyon here. We're going to bring you the back nine. Should play a little easier on some of the holes, but definitely has a few more holes that has some more teeth to it. So we'll see what we got. Huge shout out to Innova for their sponsorship in this event. Got Blake Faulkner, 948 out of Sacramento. Got myself.
975. Put it out there, man.
And we got Alex coming in at 992.
Big dog. Bigger dog.
And we got the big dog of Sacramento trying to regain his title of big dog here. So after 9 holes, we got Blake at 3 over, myself at 2 down, Alex at 4 down leading the card, and Derek at 1 over. But I'm sure these scores are going to change with the different shot shapes we'll have on this back nine.
Yeah, I can say there's probably 3 high level difficult holes on this course, only one being on the front 9, which was hole 9. The back 9 has, I can't remember the par 3's hole number. It's pretty difficult. This is hole 10, par 3, 312. This is actually standard hole 11 on the course. Very simple, easy hole, no teeth to it. It's just about getting your putter to land nice and smooth.
I'm throwing a Halo Jennifer Allen Rock 3 here, trying to get up there and left it short again. This hole became a lot easier. They took out 3 holes, and right where Alex throws here, they took out 3 trees on this hole, and right before Alex throws here, he's throwing a jokery, I believe, and he would have smacked a tree right there that kind of prevents and guards the hyzer from coming in.
Thank you, Rocklin Parks, for opening up my shot, because I smoke that tree every time.
Rocklin has a lot of these old growth oak trees, and with the recent droughts and lack of rain that we've had, and then a massive saturation of rain the past year, a lot of these trees have started to fall and kind of gone into decay. And so the trees are coming down in abundance, and Rocklin's kind of being proactive and taking these trees out.
It does suck to lose trees, but with the huge putt.
I thought I missed this putt out of my hand. This hole, for whatever reason, every time I have a 40-footer, I miss. And so I was very happy to finally show somewhat of a commitment on that and hit that putt for 2.
Blake a little low left. That was a long putt.
Derek gets together there and gets his 2. Hits a good 30-footer.
Kicking some grass over there. Didn't like how it looked at me. Little birdie.
This is the start of the next 3 holes that are kind of all must-gets. If you get out of these next 3 holes without any 2s, you're feeling pretty bad. These 3 holes are kind of ones that are original Rocklin holes that kind of play to that putter mid-range class hyzer that it should be a routine shot for all of us.
Blake, he missed another little shorty. It happens. He's definitely feeling a little pressure being on the card.
This is hole 11 here, standard course hole 12 on an elevated basket. It is playing to an island about 35 feet off of the basket. It's just a standard straight putter shot. Highly recommend a Nova or kind of some sort of straight putter here.
No Novas.
Thanks.
Ever. Throwing a pig. Little buttery smooth shot.
In past years, they've put hay bales up in front of this basket to kind of prevent the slide up.
That was very difficult when they had that.
It was tough because a lot of times, not wanting to skip out here on this hard-packed soil that Rocklin has, you want to kind of slide it up and land a little short. But with those hay bales, you kind of had to fly something and land something within the circle. Made it a little difficult.
Not sure what Blake's throwing here. Looks like a mid-range. Derek went Champion Firebird. Sidearm. See if he can knock this one down. Cash.
Good putt from Derek there. Get his 2.
Did he double bogey hole 10 or 9? Okay, so he double bogeyed, so right off the bat he got both those strokes back. So
this is Alex
he's back on track.
Alex putting here from about 18 feet. Just no commitment on that putt.
Hey.
This is probably one of the worst spit outs I've ever seen. He hit dead center on that tap in, and basket just kind of wanted to say not today, pal.
Yeah.
If you would have thrown a Nova, you might have been a little closer on that hole and had an easier tap in, but he elected to go with a Pro Pig.
Had my mom and dad watch me from directly behind the basket, and I got a little nervous. Oh, we got hole 12 here. This is 308 feet. It's actually a new pin. It's normal hole 13. They got it on this stump. The only danger on this hole is long left of the basket. There is hazard, but it's quite a ways off. Pretty hard to get to.
I'm throwing that Jennifer Allen Halo Rock 3 again. Just a straight shot. If you leave it up to the right, you'll get a little skip into the left without too much fade down to the left. There is a big forehand line here, or lefty hyzer.
Love that.
Plays pretty easy. If you go too far down the hill to the left and get a crazy roll or something, then you will find a hazard line down there.
I believe Derek went Buzz, and Blake's going with his Nuke OS again. Blake with a great line. Should have a nice look for birdie. Throwing my trusty Z-Buzz. A little low. Still a good shot.
Yeah, good shot.
This is one of those holes that it's just a little bit elevated to where it just gets in your mind a little bit, and you're kind of at the back of the course here where the wind kind of affects your putt a little bit more than normal. Derek with a good jump putt from 33 feet 4 inches.
We're not sure.
Before the round, he stated anything outside 33 feet 1 inch, he will be jump putting, and he's going to jump putt all over us, and it shows there.
It's the first one he made, though. Don't lie. Blake with a good putt. Yikes. I think I need to tighten up the Velcro on my shoes. Keep missing putts.
All right, I got a little CTP here from about 17, 18 feet. I stepped up to this putt a little nervous for some reason, and just kind of nose up hyzered and decided it wanted to come back and give me a second shot at life here. I didn't really take my time. I was a little irritated and rushed his putt a little bit, and it shows there.
That was one of the best putts I've ever seen.
This video, if this ever gets clipped, will overtake Derek Billings' video that Alex mentioned at the start of round one.
It won't. I'm sorry.
This was one of the worst putting displays I've ever had in my life, and hope to never have this again.
There you go. That one went in. Don't look too sad walking away.
This is hole 13. This is a hole that was original to the Rocklin Cooldown 2 when me and Roger and Derek Moore walked the course. I'd been out in this park a couple times, and I saw this alleyway, and I wanted to somehow make a hole into it. And by throwing a big hyzer here, kind of you want to get yourself lined up for that alleyway. If you're left or right of the alley, you don't really have a look into it. And if you go left or right of that alley once you're in it, it's kind of jail with, forehand roller country or tomahawk thumber country. So you kind of want to avoid that as best as possible. It's not really anywhere you want to be other than right center of the fairway.
So Derek got left where you want to be. Blake's a little far to the right, so he will have less of an angle into the basket. I'm throwing pretty much same spot as Derek went. Derek went Grand Slam Destroyer. I went Thunderbird. Blake, I believe, went Destroyer.
And I'm going Halo Charger here, and I was feeling a little bit of pain on this shot, and pulled it pretty far to the right, trying to compensate and not use my back and spin too much. Got a pretty fortunate result down here. I throw in a Lustered Leopard 3 here, all the way in, and it turned out all right. Got to about 25 feet.
That was pretty nice. Blake Nuke OS, I believe, again. Just a different one. Oh, there is a quite large creek on the right, and he did trickle into it.
This is what I mean by being pinched off here. You kind of, you got to try to get something in there and kind of get a little lucky. And the green will provide you some skips down there if you don't come in and watch your angle.
Grenade.
Alex is taking all that out of play here and going over the top. He thought this was OB, and I saw it check up right there in the tall grass, and he was inbounds by about 1.5 feet. If your disc goes down in that pond, it's pretty deep. You're not really going to be able to see it, so it's kind of an RIP to any frisbee that goes in there.
I would have cried if my max wouldn't. Ooh, air ball, nice. Little left.
Yeah.
Far too much hyzer out of the hand on that. I got to get my putter a little flatter.
Blake from his OB stroke, and he saves the putt. That's a nice confident putt. I mean, that's about 30 feet, and you're already losing a stroke because of that OB, so good on him for connecting on that.
Alex with a good par save there from about 20 feet.
My mullet's getting pretty majestic now that I'm watching it on video, dude. Not gonna lie. Hole 14, 318 feet. I'll say this is the hardest hole on the course by far. Very, very small gap. Extremely hard hole. Did it get birdied?
I think there was 2 or 3 birdies
That's insane.
on this hole. Not too many.
Derek with a nice kick out that was going towards a tough spot. Kicked left would be pretty bad.
I've still yet to figure this hole out. I think it's more of a hyzer flip down the middle with something higher speed to try to get there. There is a weird flex line out to the right, but it's going to leave you mid-slope on the hill with a 50-footer.
Blake with the Nuke OS again. Myself with a shank.
I'm throwing a Leopard 3 here again, just trying to flip it up a little bit. If that was 10 or 15 feet higher, I think it would have been okay.
Yeah, that's. I mean, even with the outcome, that's a great shot on this hole.
This is
like
one of
where
those,
Blake is. That's jail. That's tough.
This is one of those holes you want to just get your 3 and get to the next hole. Trying to get too aggressive on this hole can easily get you a 4 or a 5, especially if you get off into the woods.
That's me leaving it nice and short, trying to be a champion. About 50 short.
It's an easy 3, but it's one of those holes. If you start to overthink it and try to bite off too much or get too aggressive, you're no problem going to get a 4. And Blake, you see here, got a little aggressive on his drive, got 2 metered in the tree, and he'll end up, I believe, taking a 5.
Gave that a good bid. That's deep. That was probably 70 feet, 60 feet. I'm just doing me things. Oh, had a bug on my leg. Derek with a nice par. Tapping in my 4-ski. Andrew also a nice par. Blake with the double bogey. That was a tough go. He got kicked into a very bad spot, and then with the unlucky 2 meter. So he just had some bad luck on that one.
Going on to hole 15 here, par 4, 612 feet. If you have the power, you want to go over the top with something that flexes to get you over by the path over in this area. Leaves you a nice forehand in for an easy 3. If you don't have the power, something that leaks a little left to stay out of the big bush halfway down will give you a nice mid-range putter shot straight into the pin with a little anhyzer turn for a right-handed player.
Derek with the destroyer over the left side. Great hole to be a lefty.
Derek has the power to reach this hole on the right line. The wind was a little weird coming left to right. Anything he turned over is going to just get shot down. This one, I threw the wrong disc. I should have thrown a little higher and a little more anhyzer. Could have worked out, but I think I was trying to bite off, and my eyes were a little bigger than what my arm could do.
Put a little too much stank on that one. Burned it over, but it's still in the all right spot. I haven't seen Blake open up yet. Let's see what he's got.
Just going. See
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
He's
buddy.
going. He went way right to a gap that most people don't take, and it puts you right on the road. But you're still pretty far away, but it's a pretty open shot.
This was a gap that I heard Nick Harmon was throwing first round and in warm-ups to get over to that path and slide up over to the left and have an easy forehand into the hole.
Dang, dude, you've got the voice cracks today. You should be the commentator for the Kings. You might do a better job than them.
I threw a champion Firebird here and kind of a little bit of a late release going into the basket here, and
I like that one.
threw another floaty one here that kind of didn't work out how I wanted it to.
Derek with a wide open, nice, easy pin high approach. He crushes the frisbee. Air ball. Switching to the straddle. Cash.
Alex is standing right behind a big hole here that the Gophers and the Squirrels have definitely dug in. Footing can get a little weird in there sometimes.
I was pretty nervous having the great Derek Billings watch me putt from right behind me. Makes me kind of nervous. Blake tapping in a nice easy bird. He made that right gap look easy. Coming up to hole 16, this is actually hole 15 of the course, 257 feet. We have OB directly behind the basket, very close behind. Mando on the right, not super in play. You just want a nice speed control shot because you don't want a death putt and you don't want to go OB.
This is a hard hole for a lefty unless you have a forehand that hits really soft.
I think it's hard in general, like just to have the speed control not to end up 25 short with a death putt or slide long OB.
This hole's a weird touchy shot. If you land kind of where Alex is, there's sometimes if you land too flat, it just kind of fiddles out and dies even though it's hard pan. There's some wood chips down there that the Parks have put to help with the erosion. But if you get it up kind of how Blake did with a little more hyzer, it'll skid right up there to the basket, but right behind the basket, it's directly downhill into the OB.
Which he ended up finding, sadly, because it was a decent shot, just a little too much power on it.
That's kind of the ideal shot that you want there with a putter or something that's not really going to skip. You see Derek
Layup like a wuss. Oh,
55, 60 feet.
I hope you watch this, Derek. I don't agree with layups.
Yeah, I almost hit that tree, so close to that.
Me and McGilligan with a couple of park jobs.
Derek has fought his way back, though. He was one over to start the back nine and has gotten 4 strokes back on the course here. Making a little bit of a move, catching up with Alex.
Felt bad. Blake went out in a pretty, probably the worst spot to go out. He was directly under the one tree that is on the OB line, so he didn't have much of a putt.
This hole can definitely have a few distractions. There's a pretty popular dog park directly behind the basket, and dogs start seeing frisbees fly, and you'll get them barking on the other side of the fence. And in order to maintain you
gotta have that dog in you.
Your pace of play, like Alex said, you gotta have the dog in you to make the putt with the dogs. So, hole 17, 729 par 4. This plays original 16 to hole 17 in the short right. Hazard along the whole right side. If you don't have the distance for a 500-foot shot to get out to the opening to have a good angle at the pin, you definitely want to play for 4 on this hole. Anything short left is going to kind of put you in some trouble. Alex with a nice little glidey shot here. Skips back in and makes the corner.
Great drive.
This is probably the second hardest hole on the course, besides the one I stated was hardest previously. This is
Come on.
easily the second hardest.
I thought this shot was going to turn out all right. I was a little short on the, little low on the drive. A little higher, I think it would have came back and skipped back in. Derek tries to go big here. He kind of gets pinched off in the long left position of 16, and there's just a giant wall of trees with maybe a 4x4 gap to get through.
That's gone. Awesome.
No, you'll get that one back, Blake. A little early release on that one.
Once you clear this corner, there's a OB Creek and beyond that runs to the left. And a lot of players will play down and play something soft on the ground so you don't slide into that creek.
Damn, good shot.
I threw a big flexi champion Firebird here, and it worked out all right.
Yeah, with how ugly that was, it was actually a great shot. It worked out pretty dang good.
Derek threw a monster sidearm spike hyzer here to about 100 feet away.
Throwing pig right at the OB, trying to skate the edge.
Good shot.
This is one of those holes that can turn into a big number if you don't manage your game right and play smart. I think there was only birdies on this hole.
First round there were 2.
And one of them being Alex here, who's right under the basket. You really can't draw it up any better than how Alex played it. But like I said, you got to have that 500 feet of distance that Alex has to make that corner to have an angle in at the basket.
Derek with a good bid, a little low. It's a really tough putt being that far from a downhill trajectory. Pick your head up, Andrew. Why are you sulking?
Blake's waving at all the fans, counting his strokes there.
Hole 18, par 4, 581, OB right. I actually believe, is it hazard or OB?
I believe it's hazard to the right.
So they're going up, the drone footage is going up the left side. Preferably, the right side is much easier. It does bring the OB into play, but it is a lot more open. And I wanted to throw a high turnover and decided to throw a low shank.
There was a bit of controversy on this hole, round 1. The basket was right under a branch, with the branch kind of impeding the way of even entering the basket. The basket did get moved second round. This is a position none of us had played prior to this. The basket was a little shorter right. And during one of the fundraisers, Derek actually threw a roller to about 15 feet for eagle.
I think there's a tree there, Andrew.
Yeah, I didn't get this shot up high enough.
Oh, you're trying to go high over.
I was trying to go a hyzer flip up the right side,
Oh, you were trying
and
to
then
go
penetrate the right side, and I just missed my line and didn't expect the disc to do what it did.
Blake with a sidearm approach from low left of the fairway, throwing glow max high, hoping for a trickle down the tree.
This is kind of one of those risk-reward shots, keeping it to the right and crashing through. Some of these trees can get a little catchy at times. You're definitely hoping for something good.
Andrew jail.
It's not the ideal spot. I threw an Excalibur there, hoping to skip into the basket, and just didn't commit again.
Derek also going over the top.
There's an OB line about 20 feet, 15 feet behind this basket that really comes into play on some of these holes for 18. You can see the basket is kind of getting impeded by those trees there.
What tree? Blake just cut right through it, man. Speed controller.
Alex with a good putt for birdie there.
I got a little angry after that bogey and had to pick up the next 4 holes. Keep myself in the running. Derek from his meter puts it in. He brought himself back to a decent round, 3 under. He's not happy with it, but he kept himself in the game.
I took a par there. None of us played well enough to make the lead card second round, as you'll see. We all gave it our best and had some unfortunate luck and just trying to get warmed up on this course here.
Blake with a 5 over, Andrew even, myself 7 under, Derek 3 under. It was a tough first go of the tournament. We were all seeing the course pretty fresh. I don't believe the baskets were out for practice just due to the parks not allowing it, and we don't want to get our baskets stolen, obviously.
And make sure you click that subscribe button for Premium Disc Golf. Turn those notifications on. After the first round, we have Jeff Faze, 10 down. Brady Oak, 9 down. Nick Harmon, 9 down. Jake Brown and Justin Mateo, 8 down. Alex and Thomas Tomaselli at 7 down. Sam Minges at 6. Jeff McCormick at 5. Jacob and Bailey round out your top 10 at 4 down.
It's anybody's game right now. The scores are still really tight for the top 10. Anything can happen, so hopefully some fireworks happen in that next round.
And this is one of those courses where you can lose 3 strokes on a hole, no problem. You can double bogey and the other person can birdie. And next thing you know, someone at the top can next be bottom top 10. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see you guys in round 2.
Peace.
God, these freaking voice cracks, I tell you.
Dude, you have the like I'm the young one here. What's going on?
It's bad.
Oh, I gotta pee again.